On Monday, August 17th, we have Mars square Neptune going exact at 4:50 a.m. Central Time, as well as Mercury trine Saturn retrograde going exact at 10:26 a.m. Central Time, and followed by Venus sextile Jupiter going exact at 11:15 a.m. Central Time. So this Mars square Neptune aspect, because it happens so early in the morning, let's pay attention to Sunday as well. If we're feeling a little bit moody, a little bit exhausted, a little bit depleted, irritated, this is what the Mars square Neptune aspect can bring up, where it just kind of feels defeated because we have Mars in fall in Cancer. Then this is followed by a Mercury in Leo trine Saturn retrograde in Aries. Saturn is in fall in Aries and Saturn is in detriment in Leo. So this is the kind of aspect where we really want to be aware to what people are saying, because this can be one of those days where if people have their eyes down and you feel like there is deceit, if you feel like there's a little bit of questionable behavior about how somebody is communicating and what their true intention is, pay attention to that, because this is not a great aspect for being very vocal about your truth and honest about what you think, because with this Mercury trine Saturn, it can create limitations in our communication. So maybe there's something more to what we have to say, but we feel limited and unable to fully communicate, which can read as dishonesty, because perhaps this is revisiting a situation that is from the past that you've already met with. So just pay attention today. On one level, we do want to be able to read people very well, because this can be deceitful people that are just distrustful. But on another level, we do want to watch out for our limitations for how much we are communicating. Because when we add in that Mars square Neptune, we want to make sure that we are not being sold a dream, that we are not being sold something that is not true. Because both of these aspects can kind of lead us to being sold something that's not true because somebody is very desperate. So let's pay attention to that. But the wonderful thing today is that we do have this undercurrent of Venus sextile Jupiter, Venus in her own sign of Libra, Jupiter in his sign of triplicity of Leo. So this is a very wonderful aspect because these are the benefics, which just brings a sense of love, it brings a sense of harmony, it brings a sense of popularity, it brings a sense of just. But this is also a sextile, so it's not the strongest aspect, but let's tap into the undercurrent and really acknowledge that there is something good to get from this situation. There is something positive to come of this if we can just tap into that undercurrent and say that, no, I'm going to embrace love. I'm going to embrace trust. I'm going to embrace honesty. I'm going to embrace the good things in life, because that's what Venus and Jupiter represent. So just know that this can be a tricky day when it comes to understanding people's motives, understanding our own minds and how we need to stand in our truth and communicate our truth. But also, like I said, the undercurrent is at Venus sextile Jupiter, so the support for love and abundance is there.